That's right. You see it. It says ranked. Silent Night, Deadly Night films ranked. We are ranking all 6 films. This includes Silent Night, Deadly Night, Garbage Day, uh, Bill Moseley as Ricky, The Initiation, which is way out of place for the series, the 4th one, and then the 5th one, The Toy Maker, which is almost a return to form for the series from, the slasher originals, and then the 2012 remake that I say is the best of the series. And we're going to find out how it all ranks out. Seth and I, first of all, we're going to show off our personal rankings on our personal preference, and then we did the slash score, and the slash scores turned out differently as far as the rankings go. So, which that's one of the fun things about the slash scores. So, if you've been here before for the Horror Syndicate Up All Night, you know how we do it. We talk about what we like, what we don't like, and then we reveal our slash scores. But tonight we're going to do a little bit different. We're going to do the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies, all 6 ranked. And it's just in time for Christmas because, Christmas Eve is tomorrow. And I'm so excited to finally be rid of this holiday. But if you haven't been here before and you're new, please fucking subscribe. Do me the favor. It's the Holly Jolly season. Whatever. Subscribe to the Horror Syndicate on YouTube. I'd love to go into 2023 to get us another 5,000 fucking subs. Hit the like button on the video. If you're watching on Facebook, head over to YouTube and do the same thing. If you're not on Facebook, go to Facebook and like the page and follow along with all our exploits. And before we even get started, I'm going to bring Seth in, but I also have the 20. I ranked 20 films, or did a ranking of 20 Christmas films that you should watch this holiday season. But first, here's Seth. Don't fall asleep. Wake up. Seth, how you doing, man?
Not too bad for Garbage Day.
Garbage Day? Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very good, actually. First of all, I wanted to give a shout out to my man, Keith Saunders, the little brother of the Horror Syndicate Discourse team. He sent us all Christmas gifts. And I got mine in today. And I have a couple things here. He printed out copies of the Elm Street movies, slip covers, so I could have them all individual. They hadn't released them individual like this, and now he did me a huge solid. And the couple Hammer movies, which I slid in this case for now. And then they're just all kinds of cool stuff, man. Didn't expect to get any goodies from Keith this year. I feel bad because I didn't get him shit. I know Seth's got some stuff coming too, and Nate got some Tarantino type stuff. Pretty cool stuff. Kid's a good dude. Sean Sheridan is here, and he's already got comments. He says, never seen 3 and 4. Could not get through 2 or 5. Love the first one. The remake is goof. 3, 4, and 5 are all on Shudder. I suggest watching 4. It's way different. I think Seth would agree with me on that. 2 is probably the laziest movie ever made. Laziest made movie ever. Yeah, but I think we'll get into it. There's things I like about 2. I would not disagree. The remake is the best, but the first one is better for story points, and we wouldn't have the remake without the original anyway. So, Garbage Day. Anyway, I wish I had like a little video of that. I need to start making clips to have so I can put Garbage Day whenever, or whatever. So, real fast, if you don't mind, Seth, I made this list. I did this. It took me fucking 2 weeks to make this. So I'm going to bring it up. It's on thehorrorsyndicate.com, so you could do this in your leisure. But I made a list of 20 horror films that you can watch during the Christmas season. And it's been kind of making its rounds today. So real quick, these are based on movies I have seen. So there are movies like P2 I didn't see till today. I have not seen Saint, Rare Exports, that Santa's Slay or Slay Santa, whatever the hell it's called, Bill Goldberg. Have you seen that one?
No,
neither have I. So anyway, Black Christmas for 2019 is garbage, complete piece of shit. Watch it, and you'll see why. Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, which is on here. All Through the House, independent horror film. Mrs. Claus, independent horror film by Troy Escamilla, who I've met plenty of times. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out. Silent Night, Deadly Night 4, Initiation. I need to redo this because I watched it today and I like it way better. Christmas Evil. Look at him going for the bush. Uh, Dial Code Santa Claus. Have you ever seen this one?
No.
It's wild. It's like Home Alone, but Christmas. Oh well, Home Alone's Christmas. Um, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker, highly underrated in my opinion. Black Christmas '06. We talked about Black Christmas. Was it this week? No, 2 weeks ago, right?
It was last week.
Yeah, last week. Okay, yeah, I like this one. The more I think about it, the more I like it. I'd like to get a proper Blu-ray copy of it. And then Silent Night from 2012, brand new on Shudder for this year. Christmas, Bloody Christmas, which I liked it. Cinematography is fantastic. It's a little bit different. Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday, which is Mike Lombardo, who used to be on the Horror Syndicate Live with us. No nepotism. I just actually really like this movie. You can buy a copy at screamteamreleasing.com. A Christmas horror. Have you seen it?
I own it. Yeah.
Oh, well, there we go.
I bought it when I first joined the Horror Syndicate.
Oh man, I'm glad you did because it's a good movie. It's a tough watch at points.
Depressing as fuck. Depressing as fuck, but it's good.
Yeah, it is. It's your seasonal depression is what he was saying. I love his tagline too. It's what is it? No food, no hope, Noel. Anyway, A Christmas Horror Story is an underrated horror anthology. You get to see Santa fight Krampus. That's all I'm gonna say. And there it is. It's fucking badass. It's on Shudder. And the Apocalypse is a lot of fun. It's a musical Christmas zombie movie. I actually really enjoy this. If you haven't seen, I think that's on Shudder too. I don't know. Better watch out. You've seen this one, haven't you?
Yeah.
Not what I expected when I was watching it.
I like the Home Alone experiment.
It was yeah. This is a good watch, by the way. I can't. It's streaming, I think, on Peacock. Definitely worth a watch. It's going to be one of those ones that's going to end up being a class, like a Christmas classic horror film. I'm telling you, if you haven't seen it. Krampus is number 3. I haven't watched it in a while, but Black Christmas '74, the Ridge, and then number 1 is Gremlins. Yay! But Seth, what's the number 1 Christmas movie of all time?
Number 1 Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it's clearly First Blood.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Die Hard.
I'm tired of that Die Hard debate. It's the greatest movie ever made. That's the only debate that needs to be there for that movie. So I don't care if anyone considers it a Christmas movie or not. It's my favorite movie of all time. So
I got to answer Keith real fast. Yeah, I think there's plenty of great Christmas movies out there, plenty of great Christmas horror movies out there. So, I mean, one of my favorites is Scrooge, which I'm probably going to watch after the show with my daughter. That and she wants to watch It's a Wonderful Life, believe it or not.
It's a good movie.
Yeah. Are we not live on Facebook?
We are. I shared from it.
Okay. Because I pull up because I was going to share it and I didn't see it on my phone pop up. So there it is. Anyway, yeah, share this out if you're watching. We definitely want to get some viewers to watch this show and tell us how they feel. I mean, I know a lot of people haven't seen all of these because you'd be like, oh, Silent Night, Deadly Night is a great Christmas horror film, but the rest are kind of forgettable. I disagree with that sentiment, and I think we'll be able to explain, why some of these are definitely worth the watch. Die Hard is an Xmas movie. It takes place on Christmas. Case closed. Yes, I prefer Die Hard 2, but anyway. So what we're going to do tonight, first thing is we're going to put up our personal rankings, which are different from the overall rankings that we put together, and then kind of explain why things are where they are. And then we're going to go down and rank the rest of the movies, all 6 of them individually. So what we did with that is there was the slash score, which is different. All the 10 categories, we came up with a percentage, put our scores together, and uh, made a score out of that. So we made a baby. Basically, Seth and I making babies. So first off, Seth is going to go with his. Here's his ratings of the series as a whole, and we just did them from 1 to 6 this way, but we're going to go from 6 to 1 when we rank. But go ahead, Seth. Tell us why you placed each movie where, starting with number 6.
Okay, my number 6 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. I understand why some people love it and why it does have like a sort of like a cult following. There's, the terrible acting is really fun. The scene where he goes on his little spree is a lot of fun. But I can't rank this anywhere but the bottom because it's barely a movie. It's 90% clip show, 10% sequel. I can have fun with it, but it's my least favorite of the series because it is just it's mostly just complete scenes from the first movie with some guy in between telling the story. So yeah, not exactly my favorite. Kind of fun though. My number 5
but
is
he's hilarious.
What's that?
But he's hilarious.
Yeah,
Ricky.
yeah. And I'm gonna mention him in a minute here because my number 5 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 3. Better Watch Out. I feel like it's a shame they didn't get Eric Freeman back as Ricky. As much as I like Bill Moseley, he just seemed like he was playing it like a robot. I think part 3 has a lot of missed opportunities. I don't understand the decision at all. Like Ricky wakes up from his coma. First person he kills is someone in a Santa suit, and he doesn't take the suit. I don't understand why they had Ricky in this without a Santa suit. It's mostly just a forgettable movie, forgettable characters. I mean, I do like the lead chick a little bit, but yeah, not my favorite. My number 4 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation. I think it's a really good movie, but it's kind of weird because it just takes place on Christmas. The Christmas has nothing to do with even the plot of the feminist cult or anything like that. They I don't know. It was just kind of out of place. I think it's a good movie as is. It stands on its own pretty well. And I do have to say, I really like the score in the movie. I can't remember who the composer is, but I think the score is actually really, really good for part 4.
Yeah,
it might be the best.
Sorry,
What's that?
I was going to say this is a sharp turn in the series.
Yeah. I kind of wish they just found like better ways to really connect it, especially to the Christmas theme. But
yep. Go ahead. Sorry, as comments.
My number 3 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker. What a fucking movie!
Yeah, before you go, was this the first time you got to watch these recently?
This is my first time viewing of 4, 5, and the remake.
Okay.
I've seen the first 3. I watched the first 3 for the first time last year. Last year. So yeah, and I actually because I've been sick lately, I've actually had time to revisit all 6 of these movies. So even the first 3, I got to revisit to have them fresh in my mind for tonight. So yeah, number 3 is part 5, The Toy Maker. Really weird movie. It's got some good kills in it. It's fun, and like the whole thing with the ending, the reveal at the end is just so fucking weird.
It really is.
When he's like calling her mommy, and he's like, it was weird movie. It's fun to watch though. My number 2 is Silent Night from 2012, which I think on a technical level is probably the better one in the series. It's a lot of fun. It's well made. It's got some awesome kills. And I really enjoyed it. I I liked the callbacks to the first two movies that were in it too.
Garbage Day.
Yeah, there was the Garbage Day. There was like the opening kill, with the electrical thing hooked up to the guy's head and his eye popping. That was just like from part 2.
Yeah, and then they had hanging on the antler.
Yeah, yep. There's that, and then just the idea of the two different Santa Claus killers too. So it's like, in the remake, that it's Ronald Sr. and Ronald Jr., but it's essentially like this new version of Billy and Ricky. So I kind of appreciate it as taking stuff from the first two movies, especially. And my number one is the first film from '84, which actually kind of impressed me a little bit the first time that I watched it, because I was expecting just a really cheap splatter film, with no plot, character, nothing that you would expect from a slasher.
Right.
And I feel like the first movie, I like the way that it kind of built up to Billy's turn, him snapping, and it's I don't know, it's pretty character driven for a slasher movie.
It is. It really is. I mean, you go from, his traumatic moment on Christmas Eve, even with before the Saints, what happens to his parents with his grandpa, who's catatonic, and then all of a sudden snaps and tells him about how bad Christmas is, and later on, all that shit happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like everything that happens, like even with the orphanage and, where people have to be punished and naughty and all that, like everything really kind of built towards his break where he would just snap. It's just it's a good slasher film.
Yeah, I agree. Surprisingly, after watching it again this year, when I got my Blu-rays, I was like, okay, gotta watch them. And then we were like, we're gonna do the show. I liked it a lot better than the last time I watched it, which honestly had been probably about 5 or 6 years, because I got my the one Blu-ray that they released before Scream Factory, and I was like, don't need to watch that again, And the same thing with the second one. I was like, never gonna watch that again. And I was like, So there's Seth's rankings again. You got 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. They basically go down the line, and then the remake, and then the first one. So then we'll go with mine real fast, and then we'll move on to our complete rankings. I did it a little bit different. Silent Night, Deadly Night 3 for me, after watching it the other day, just kind of falls flat. I agree 100% with Bill Moseley, and I agree a lot with what you said, especially why didn't he grab the Christmas suit? I mean, the Santa suit. And the one thing I do like is the blind chick. I thought she was kind of cool. Yeah. Her brother's hair, holy shit, that was just out of control. Like that was on another level. You know what I'm saying? Like that right there, that boosted my score for this movie. but it just didn't hold up for me very well, because it's kind of more of the same, and that can be okay, but it just didn't do much for me overall. And I put Silent Night 2 ahead of that just because of Ricky. What's his name? The guy who plays him?
Eric Freeman.
Eric Freeman. I'm watching it, and Helena's watching it with me, and maybe the company that was with me helped, because she was just dying laughing at, because she's like, look at his eyebrows every time he talks, and it's true. His eyebrows are like moving a mile a minute every time he says something. He's so expressive with his eyebrows. But like I know most of the first act and a half or so are all stuff that happened to his brother, really. And then, you see some things from when he was a kid, like he can't see the color red, which is fucking hilarious. And, I like this little scene where the doctor has like a piece of paper with some red on it, and he like hides it from him. It's like, and I like the little, like before he goes on his rampage, his Garbage Day rampage, when he sticks that umbrella through that guy and opens it up. That's fucking awesome. So I think there's more to this one, more than it being laughable and fun. I think it's okay. Now number 4, I have Initiation. Okay, I like this one a lot. But I think it would be better off. It's like Halloween 3 in a way, where it would be better off if it would lumped into the series, because it'd be a good witch movie. It's got fucking Octopussy in it.
Yeah.
You know,
my bad.
it's got Clint Howard and Octopussy in it. And that's not, I think there's another one that has a James Bond character in it. I can't remember which one it is offhand, but anyway, so yeah, Octopussy's like the lead nurse and or lead witch, and it's a witch story. I mean, the movie starts off with a fucking human combustion, and it kind of goes there, and it's there's a lot of trippy moments, like the whole thing where her hands are like fucked up, and she's being like kind of raped by Clint Howard or whatever,
Yeah.
and it's just a fucking mind fuck of a movie, and I enjoy it. I really enjoy this one. There's some campy moments, but overall, I think there's a good horror movie in there. And I like your reaction to my number 3, which I think was your number 3 also. It's like this fucking movie. That toy maker is bonkers. It's like, so this woman is trying to get her son from being catatonic or whatever, and then you know, her ex-boyfriend or whatever is like running her down. She keeps running from him, like terrified of him. And then like when they fucking finally get face to face, meet up, they just start going at it and making out and shit. It's like, what the fuck? But the best is the end. The end sets it off for this movie. Am I wrong? You know, I mean, he gets her down in his little toy shop. He changes his face, which I thought that was a good effect. You know, like he puts the face on and everything, and like, holy shit, for 1991, you know, sounds like a better version of Black Christmas. It's way better than Black Christmas 2019. Anyway, so yeah, I like. We'll talk more in depth about these. The first one's a classic. It's my number 2, and it's I like it, but I really was impressed by Silent Night 2012, and I'm surprised it didn't respawn more movies. I just think it's underwatched and underappreciated because it came out right around the time of all the flood of remakes that we got, and I just think it got overlooked. And I think the series shouldn't be dead as it is. It's been dead for the last 10 years, and pretty much was dead for 20 years until the remake. I think this could be a strong series, and I think they should make more. Honestly, why not? Fuck it. I mean, you could do whatever you want. You can go in the direction it seemed like the last 2 went in, which was a kind of like anthology, or you know, make another slasher. People love slashers. You know, people love Christmas slashers. You know, do whatever you want. There's so much you could do.
Yeah. Was this the first time watch for the remake for you?
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't own. That's the only one I don't own. I was able to get all of these. These are my Christmas presents to myself. I got the Scream Factory because they're getting close to being out of print. I can't believe I paid $22 for that. But I got to watch the Blu-ray, and then there's a great and one of my favorite things, if you haven't watched them, is Horror's Hallowed Grounds. It's not Horror's Hallowed Grounds, but this guy goes around with Eric Freeman. Is that what his name is? Yeah, Eric Freeman, to all of the filming locations for Silent Night, Deadly Night 2, including the street where Garbage Day happens. So it's definitely, I think it's worth the money that I paid for it. After that, I love special features. And then this just came out last week, and it's got 3, 4, and 5 on it in digital copies. I'm going to see if I can get Keith to print me out some individual cases for this. But
are they individual discs?
What's that?
Are they individual discs inside that?
Well, let me just show you. Bam! Yes, they are.
That's fucking awesome.
That is awesome.
I need to get those.
This was $12.
Really?
Yeah, $12.
Where? Amazon?
Best Buy or Amazon? I can't remember. I'll check after the show to see where I got it from.
Yeah, let me know.
There's money on the table. Yeah, people love Christmas horror, man. I love Killer Santas. Too much for part 2. Did you like that one? Because I thought it was pretty good. All is good, Alex?
You better be sorry.
You better be sorry, you SOB.
How dare you be late?
All right, just a reminder, next week is our last show of the year, and we will be talking about New Year's Evil and maybe Terror Train. Have we decided that yet?
I mean, if you want to, I don't mind. I mean, I own Terror Train on DVD, so
it's on Shudder also. I mean, I'd like to rewatch it, and I have this really great copy of New Year's Evil that I have not watched yet. I watched it on Shudder last time, so I think they're both streaming on Shudder. But yeah, let's do that. Let's do a twofer, and we'll do our slash scores every for this show. This is different from Discourse. We will always have a slash score at the end of the episode. And if you're not familiar with the slash score, I'll do Friday the 13th. What we did was we have 10 categories and we rank them 1 to 10. And
objectively.
Objectively, yes, not just like, well, I think the makeup in this one's a 10 because this my favorite. But so objectively, so our rankings end up coming out differently than we expect, which to me is a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And anyway, so then we add them up, and Seth has one, I have one, and then I take the two, add them together, divide them by 2, and that comes up the average. So because our scores are always wildly different. So
yeah,
and that's a good thing in my opinion. But so anyway, so that's all the stuff I have to tell you for now. Oh, also we're talking about Suspiria on Wednesday on the Horror Syndicate Discourse show. So make sure you come in for that and check out if you're a big fan of Supernatural, the CW show. We've got the Supernatural Syndicate happening on Tuesday. All right. Now let's get into the countdown. You ready for the countdown?
Let's go.
We have the Silent Night, Deadly Night movies all ranked. Every single one of them. We did the slash scores, and we took our slash scores, and that's how we ranked them. So it's gonna come out differently from. Actually, I think the list ends up coming out almost exactly. No, it's different. It's different. So anyway, so let's get into this. So we're gonna put up a graphic showing the total score, and then our scores will be on the bottom. Okay. Do you guys not chat offline? You just wait till the Horror Syndicate show to come on to chat with each other. Anyway, congratulations on finishing that, Luke, by the way.
Yeah, that's cool.
So coming in at number 6 is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 at 34%. Seth, you gave it a higher score than I did, but I like it better.
That's shocking too.
I'm harder on movies, I think, than you and Nate, and like I'm doing the Marvel DC stuff over at Rage of Razor, and the average scores are coming out way lower than mine, and I'm like, oh, I must just be hard on movies. So yeah, you got 36%, and we got I got the 31%. This was after or before I rewatched it, to be fair, but it is. I mean, Sean's right. It's a shitty movie overall. I mean, it was lazy. The only thing that really worked in this movie was the Eric Freeman. I really liked him. He was like, he looks fucking crazy. Like, I don't think the guy who plays Billy in the first one looks crazy as much as Eric does. And like, there's no, the kills are kind of shitty except for the one, the umbrella kill. But it's just not a great movie overall. I mean, what do you got? I know we kind of talked about it, but
I mean, I was gonna give it all ones all across the board for everything.
You were. It would have had a 10%.
Yeah, I was originally gonna do that, but looking at a few things, so I marked it pretty high for editing since they edited the first movie in there, so good for them. Entertainment value, I gave it like a 5 because it's a really bad movie, but it's a bad movie that I can watch and I could still kind of have fun with.
Yeah.
I mean, like, technically speaking, last night there was parts where, like, when I was watching it, I didn't even pause it. I just went down, had my cigarette, just fucked around. And then I came back for like the last half hour for the sequel.
Somebody needs to make a supercut.
Yeah.
It'd be 2 hours long. It'd be 2 hours long. Yeah. I don't know. It's okay. It's not anywhere near. It doesn't sniff the first one at all.
No.
But I have fun with it. The entertainment value may be a little bit higher now for me after watching it again the other day, because this was based off watching it a couple of years ago, and my memory is still pretty good for it. But so yeah, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, without a doubt, is the worst one. And I'm sure if we get the rest of the Horror Syndicate involved, they'd say the same thing. Now, the question I have for everybody who's watching What do you rank it on a scale of 1 to 10? Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2. Let us know in the comments because we definitely want to know where you rank this or what you rank this movie on a scale of 1 to 10. Yeah, it goes beyond cheese in my opinion. It goes beyond cheese. All right, so that's number 6. Number 5 is number 3. So better watch out. You gave it a 50%. Again, I'm more harsh on movies, and I think I would have scored this lower after because I did this before I rewatched it because I rewatched it yesterday I think, and my scores are from like a week ago. Um, I just there's something Bill Moseley's performance. I love Bill Moseley. Complete miscast in my opinion. Complete
Yeah.
miscast. And there's a couple things like they started getting supernatural in this one, and which I kind of liked partially, but the brother's hair just threw me off. Like I can't stop thinking about his hair and how nice the ground. She just let some stranger come in with a weird head into her house. Like what?
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you? What kind of thoughts do you have on the third movie that you haven't already said?
I mean, I kind of marked all the categories around 5, like 4, 5, and 6 were like the main scores. Because I think it's an average film.
Well, you got it right at average, 50%. Like it's exactly average.
Yeah. That's just the way I feel about it. Because I think for me, like I feel like there was like potential with some of the stuff they were trying to do with it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You know, and it's just some like I question the execution. It's probably considered a minor nitpick, but why didn't he take the Santa suit? Why didn't they have him?
Part of the whole thing? Why is he not wearing a Santa suit?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So it's weird, but and I like the idea of the blind chick and having a psychic connection to him.
Yeah.
It's weird.
They decided to go a little different, which I liked.
Yeah, and just like the direction and the writing, improvement over part 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just an average film for me. Yeah,
below average for me. This is my least favorite of the series, but I think 44 is a pretty good score for this one overall. And just like the last one, if you've seen the third movie, please let us know on a scale of 1 to 10 where you rank it. On part 2, Luke gave it a 2, and Sean gave it a 1. So that's a 15% right there.
Well,
go ahead.
No, it's funny though because like on my own Facebook page, I put up my ranking.
Yeah.
And like I don't get a lot of people commenting on my stuff, but like all the people who did are just like hey, I love part 2. So it's weird because you see a lot of people love it, and then there's a lot of people like us or Sean, or Luke even, who don't like it so much, but it's got its audience.
It does. It really does, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I heard there was supposed to be I would love another one, even if it's a reboot. A 3 or 3.5. Okay. If you like Marvel and DC movies, head over to Rage of Razor. We're rating all the MCU movies. We're rating all the DCEU movies. And as soon as we're done with the DCEU and MCU, we're going to do Superman 78 movies, the Keaton Batman movies, all that good stuff. And then we'll get into Star Wars, and we'll start rating other stuff, maybe some like RoboCop or Rambo or some shit like that. It's going to be fun. That's what we're going to be doing over there at Rage of Razor. And eventually I'd like to do a show on Monday nights where we could talk about geek news and, different movies over there that we don't talk about here, because we're not talking about fucking Die Hard here, even though we kind of did. Thank you. I've been sitting on that page since 2015, and it was Fandom Unlimited at one point, and then I was like, that's not going to happen. And then anyway, so far here we've got at number 6, number 5, and here's number 4. Surprisingly, and this is my fault that it got such a low score because I rated everything so low. But 42. This was higher for you than part 4, lower than me from part 4, but 53% overall. I like Mickey Rooney in this movie. First of all, I have to say. And did you get the Pinocchio references?
Yeah, Joe Petto.
Joe Petto and Pino or whatever his name was.
Yep.
It was a son, and he made his son essentially. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't catch that the first time, and watching it this time, I'm like, holy shit, this is fucking Pinocchio, in a
Yep.
Christmas movie, and it's a lot of fun. That scene where there's two sex scenes interwoven into one scene. Basically, and then the toys start attacking the one. It's just fucking ridiculous. And this leading up to it, him and his girlfriend are making out, and he's like, "Ooh, you never put your hands down there before." And it's like a rubber hand. He's like, "Oh, you got to get some lotion, baby." It's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
Fun movie overall, I think. I feel bad for rating it so low now after rewatching it, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean it's an above average movie. It's just really bizarre, and
yeah,
it's kind of humorous.
Yeah,
the kills were pretty good in it.
Oh,
I thought. I think the entertainment factor, especially with the third act, is pretty damn good.
Because it's kind of not leading up to it. Like everything happening in the movie is kind of like, and you got a scene that's kind of reminiscent of Child's Play 2 with the toy in the car and the guy driving.
Yeah.
And then it just, leading up to it, it's like, what the fuck is going on? And there's a meat that like that one scene where the guy is dressed up as Santa and he thinks that kid's his son or whatever. And the woman's trying to take him off his lap. No, leave him here. Leave. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Calm down. Reveal yourself already. Don't be a creep.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of a bizarre scene too, because he had like this little girl on his lap and he's like staring intensely at the little boy, and I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, Mickey Rooney's a bit hokey, absolutely, but I thought that was part of the charm of the movie. And rank this one too. Mama tried, but I like it. I like it overall. I mean, just because I give something a 42%, this is being objective. This doesn't mean I don't like things because. Yeah. Like, what did I give? I can't remember. I gave one of the Friday the 13th a really low score, but I still like it. Oh, no, that was you. That was you, the first movie. You gave it a really, really low score. Anyway, I think this is a good spot for it. It's number 4 on the list, and number 3 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 4 Initiation, which almost just doesn't belong in the series. I don't think there's a single person dressed up as Santa, is there?
No. Like
no.
There's like minor references to Christmas.
Yeah, well, they have the Christmas. The family, has the Christmas thing. That's it. Really.
Yeah. And
then the whole scene where they're the boyfriend's like, she doesn't celebrate Christmas. She's Jewish, and the dad gets all bent out of shape about it.
Yeah,
that was hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I like this one, and I kind of wish it wasn't in this series because it would be. I think it could stand on its own as kind of a silly early 90s horror film.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I kind of like the story. I like how it's revolved around this mystery about this person who jumped. I thought the very beginning was really effective. If you notice, my score for this one is just 1% below part 5. Because I do enjoy it. I just wish it had something to do with. I wish the main plot involving Maud Adams and the whole
Octopussy.
Yeah, Octopussy, and the whole feminist cult thing was tied into Christmas somehow.
Yeah, like some kind of pagan ritual or something like that had to do with,
or even because horror movies always they could take back whatever happens in the previous film. They do it a lot.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that Clint Howard's character is named Ricky, and I think it would have been kind of cool if it was like this feminist cult of witches or whatever, that they have Ricky, the actual Ricky Caldwell from the Santa Claus killer as like their sort of lackey. I think that would have been a kind of a cool connection.
But Clint Howard still could have played that part because he was also Ricky in 5.
Yeah. There's some weird continuity.
Really weird continuity.
But and like I mentioned earlier on in the show, like the musical score, the score itself. I don't know the composer's name, but the score really got me right from the opening credits.
Oh, and another thing we should mention: Brian Usna directed this.
Yes,
That was totally unexpected.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that makes sense why it's so gross and weird, because there are times that it has a Reanimator / From Beyond vibe, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't
And it
know.
has
I like
Reggie
this one.
Bannister in it.
Yeah, that's right. Reggie's from This one's chock full of goodness, and boobs. There's boobs in it, so gotta love boobs. There's boobs in the first two also, and the
Just a little
third
bit
one.
in the remake.
I think there are, yeah, boobs everywhere. That's the only reason I wanted to talk about this. Let's talk about boobs. Where's Miss Buchanan? She should be doing a drinking game right now. All right, so that was number 3. And again, we want you guys to rate all these. Luke gave it a 5.5. Missed opportunity, absolutely. Titties. Going into number 2. Before we hit number 2, is it Silent Night or is it Silent Night Deadly Night? What do you guys think? Let us know before we get there, and we'll talk about something else for a couple seconds. So, Linnea Quigley's boobs, real or fake?
Real. There.
I gotta say, it's always a pleasure seeing her boobs in a movie. That was one of the highlights of the first movie for me. Was I think it was the first time I'd ever seen her boobs, and I love Linnea Quigley because she's one of those actresses who are in all the or not all of them, but a lot of movies. She's been in Silent Night, Deadly Night. She's been in Return of the Living Dead. She was in Elm Street 4, kind of.
Yeah. Yep.
So she's been kind of everywhere. One of her best movies, I'll have to say, if you've never seen it, is and I need to get a copy of it, was Sorority Babes at the Slimeball Bolorama. Fun ass movie. It's stupid but fun, and that's one of the few movies she does not get topless in. Night of the Demons is another movie she's in, because even in the Elm Street movie, her boobs are out. Basically, she's in Freddy's chest, and I like on Never Sleep Again. They're all push your breasts out, Linnea, or something like that. I love it. Anyway, that was my little ode to Linnea Quigley. Silent Night, easy for me. I appreciate 84. So you think, okay. So should we go ahead and reveal number 2?
Sure.
Number 2 is Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original. And Seth gave it a great score. I gave it a average score. I also, when I think about this, I'm not just for the sake of being a slasher movie or a part of the series. I also think of it in the grand scheme of horror. So, because these numbers that I'm using, I'm going to end up putting them all the horror movies, all 940 horror movies I've seen, in order by my slash score, because I'm stupid. But this movie, in a way, is a legendary horror movie. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's the launching. I mean, we got in the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, we got all these themed horror slashers, My Bloody Valentine, April Fool's Day. Now we got a Christmas slasher, and this one has it's deeper than you think. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to see a lot of what drives this guy, which generally I don't like, because if I saw a whole movie about Michael Myers like that, I did Halloween 07, I wouldn't have liked it. But this one I enjoyed, because you get to see all the shit Billy goes throughout the movie that leads him to kill. And the best part about this movie for me is you see, like, he starts to come out of a shell a little bit, starts to become like a normal person, and then they put him in a fucking Santa costume, and it ruined everything.
Yeah. I mean, that's why this one's my favorite in the series, because I appreciate the the time they took to build up the character instead of just starting off as a slasher from the start. I don't know. This is my favorite of the series,
and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's a lot of people who probably share the same sentiment, and it is really good. Like, I mean, it's not a really good movie overall, but you start off with visiting his grandfather in a home. His grandfather's catatonic, and then the mom, dad, and baby Ricky leave, and then his grandpa pops out of it and starts acting like a fucking Looney Tunes and scares the shit out of the kid about Christmas. And then they see Santa on the middle of the road after you see him kill somebody, which they play those scenes as a movie in one of them, don't they?
In part two.
Part two, yeah. Yeah, so yeah, they go see that movie, don't they? And he starts when he kills that guy in the back row, the smallest theater on earth. Yeah. But like, yeah, so all this stuff happens to him. But I really love like the scenes when he starts working at the toy store and starts getting kind of coming out of his shell and kind of likes that girl. And then that little short dude with an attitude, the stockroom supervisor, he's a prick. But one of my favorite things is and then it's kind of missing from the second movie is him just kind of he goes kind of like just like one track mind, punish, and you think he's going to kill that little girl, but he doesn't. He gives her the weapon, the knife. It's like Santa with a heart.
Well, here's a funny thing too that I thought of when I was watching it again last night. The wife of the store owner, she's been killed in movies on Christmas Eve and Halloween Eve.
Really? What was the other one?
Halloween 4. She was one of the doctors in the ambulance.
No shit.
Yeah, I kept thinking, I'm like, where do I know her from? She looks so familiar, and then it clicked.
Oh my god, I'll have to rewatch that again. Not Evil Dies Tonight annoying. That's a better story than 90% of the slashers. It could be. All right, so with that, number one is it got a really high score from both of us. Well, overall, 69%. Seth gave it a 79. I gave it a 58%. And I hate to say this because it's a 2012 remake of an 80s slasher, but I went in expecting it to be like I didn't want to watch it. I was like, I may as well. I need to watch this. I've seen all the other ones. I need to at least watch this one. Because the cover looks like dog shit. I mean, look at that poster. It's awful, and I'm like, this is going to be bad. And then I look at the cast list. I'm like, oh, Jamie King's in it. You got Malcolm McDowell. You got Donald Loge, or however you say his name. I'm like, oh, this might not be too bad. And it air quotes blew me away. It did. I found out it's based on true events. The Covina killings of like 2008, I think.
Yep.
So that was kind of cool, and it doesn't copy. I don't think of it as a remake. It's the sixth movie in the series because it doesn't copy what happened in the first movie. Sure, we get, like Seth said earlier, throwbacks from the first movie and second movie, but it doesn't copy or even make it look like it's anything like the first two movies.
Yeah.
And you gave it a huge high score. I mean, this 79% is pretty fucking high.
I did, and like that's why like I had to send you a message today. I'm like, dude, just so you know, there's a difference between my personal ranking and these scores, because I think this movie has a lot good going for it, and like I rated it high with the kills and with the effects and with the entertainment factor.
Yeah, it's one that I'm going to go back to.
Yeah, the direction was good. The cast was mostly good.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for the editing so much. There were certain things with the editing that kind of annoyed me.
Especially in the scene where they're shooting the porno.
Yeah.
That scene and the scene where they go to the mayor's house, there was some poor editing in there.
Yeah. Yeah. But
I do too. He loves the look of the Santa. I like the way he looked too.
Yeah. I really dug that with the using the mask and everything. Yeah, so I rate it really high because I think there's a lot of really good in it. I mean, the kills are fucking really cool.
Yeah, as Sean mentioned, the tree shredder kill
Yeah,
that was brutal. That was
yeah,
fucking brutal. I mean, that whole scene, the build up to that moment with her
yeah,
getting out, running out of the house or the apartment bill or hotel room, whatever it is. You know, that's just really great. She led him to the place of her death. You know, and
yeah.
they even that first kill at the beginning with Brendan Fair, whatever his name is, tied up, and
Hmm.
you know, there's a lot of good in this movie, and they try to throw you off of who the killer is.
Yeah,
You know, and they did a good job. I like Malcolm McDowell as the sheriff because he reminds me of asshole Loomis from the Halloween movies. In a way, he's got kind of this cocky attitude about him, and there's just not much about this movie I didn't like.
yeah.
I was pleasantly surprised. Like after I watched it, I was like, damn, that was not bad. That was pretty good, you know, and I was like, I think I like that better than the original. Uh, Now I
And
respect the
I kind of
original.
like, yeah, I kind of like how it ended with the reveal too of
Hmm,
him being a kid in the
yeah,
car watching as the main character's father
yeah,
shot his father. I like how it ended on that note
hmm.
because that's usually a scene that will happen
In
early
the
on
beginning,
in maybe the third act or something like that.
yeah,
But to end on that note, I thought that was kind of neat.
it's different. I
Yeah,
was very surprisingly happy with this movie, and it's one that I absolutely need to add to my collection of Christmas and Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. Excuse me. For some reason I keep getting congested when I'm in this room lately. Anyway, so yeah, that's it. That's our rankings. We'll go through them again real fast. Number 6 is Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2, Garbage Day. They should have really given that a subtitle, Garbage Day.
yeah,
Number 5 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 3, Better Watch Out with a 44%. Number 4 is Silent Night, Deadly Night 5. And I forgot to mention, did I don't know how familiar you are with the Full Moon Entertainment movies. This felt like a fucking Full Moon movie to me.
oh yeah, one
It
hundred
was written
percent.
by Brian Usna also, but yeah, it like totally felt like a Full Moon movie. Somewhere
And it was
between
interesting enough too. It was directed by one of the screenwriters of Friday the 13th Part 3 and 5, I
no
believe.
shit.
Yeah,
Wow. But yeah, I kept getting watching it today. I was like, man, this is somewhere between Puppet Master and Demonic Toys. You know, like that's kind of what it was feeling like for me. Not
yeah,
subspecies though. And I know you're. I like. I say I don't know how familiar you are with Full Moon. I know you're a subspecies guy, but like, you know, Demonic Toys, Dollman, you know, all these other ones. I don't know where you sit on those. Anyway, this was number, what did I say, 4? Number 3 is Part 4 at 56%. And number 2 is the first one, unfortunately, for fans of this one. And there's nothing wrong with that. And then, of course, number 1 is the 2012, surprised the shit out of both of us, I'd say, uh,
yeah.
Silent Night. I'm not going to call it a remake. I'm not going to do it anymore because it's not. It's a movie that stands on its own, and it doesn't play as a remake at all. So there we go. We did it. We did it. Our first. Well, no, we ranked the final girls. Our first film ranking of this show, which we will be doing another one very soon because we've got more Friday the 13th to cover. We finished with the fourth movie the other day. The funny thing is, like, when you look at our slash scores, check this out. Silent Night is a 69. Friday the 13th 4 is a 73. Well, that's mine. Well, I erased the good one. God damn, I keep every episode I've screwed up. Every episode I've screwed up. I guess we need a new host. Let me
Yep.
get. Oh, I gotta find the. I hope I didn't erase that because pretty sure I didn't. I think I made a whole new folder for this show. Yeah, there we go. Let's see. For part 4, 80%. Okay, so never mind. It's 80%. So it's 11% off. So that was our score for Part 4. So that's not too bad. Not too bad, right?
No.
Okay, so subscribe on YouTube if you have not already. Like on Facebook, we do these shows every Friday, and then we've got the Horror Syndicate Discourse coming up on Wednesday. We are doing the Suspiria movies. If you don't like those, then that's all I got to say. Lick my plate, you dog dick. Eventually, we're going to have to do the Texas Chainsaw movies as well, right?
Yeah, we'll do them over the summer.
Yeah. Well, we've got coming up, we've got Friday the 13th, part 5 will be our first episode in the new year. We'll be doing Friday the 13th, part 6. We're going to do a versus episode, part 4 versus part 6. One of us will take the side of the other, and I think you know who's going to take what, if you follow me. And then we'll finish the Friday the 13th series, get into some Scream, get into some Elm Street, get into everything. So again, I say it all the goddamn time. Like us on Facebook. We're getting closer and closer to 24,000 likes. Well, subscribe and like the video. Even if you don't watch the videos, if you have a YouTube account, go hit the like button. That helps us. And plus, it'll make Seth happy, and that's what we're here for. Part 5 is all right. I love part 5. By the way, I saw Danny Steinman in Home Depot the other day, the director of part 5. I know he's long dead, but this fucking guy comes up to me. I work for the Home Depot at my day job. He comes up, he's like, "Do you know where the wood screws are?" And I look at him like, "Danny Steinman?" And he goes, "Who's Danny Steinman?" I was like, "Oh, I thought you were somebody else." And I'm not even joking. I did say that. I do that shit all the time at work. I say shit that customers, anyway. But yeah, and he got his wood screws though. So happy holidays. Yes, happy holidays to everybody out there. Merry Christmas, whatever it is you support, whatever it is you celebrate. Seth, what's going on for Christmas with you guys?
Taking the kids trick or treating.
Yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I almost actually wore a Halloween shirt tonight for our Christmas episode. Yeah, I'm excited about Christmas, man. My kids are gonna be so happy with the stuff they're getting. And then my favorite thing about it though is we go to my wife Elizabeth's parents' house, and we play dominoes. You ever played Mexican train dominoes?
No.
It was so much fun, man. We play dominoes and just feast all day. So I'm pretty excited about that. What?
Nice.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna say something. I wish all of us lived around each other so we could just celebrate Christmas together. Come over to Razor's house, pop in some horror. We'll watch some horror movies. We'll watch some horror Christmas movies, and we'll play some dominoes at Razor's house. That'd be fun.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
I haven't watched Die Hard yet this year. I probably will do that on Christmas Day because my kids have not seen Die Hard yet. So that's one that I'd like to show them, and then con them into saying that the third one's the best, because I think the third one's the best.
Oh, because you want to give me a heart attack?
Well, I mean, let's do this real fast. The third movie is good, and you got it. There's an undeniable like thing between Sam Jackson and Bruce Willis that is so much fun. Like that scene where he's like, "You were gonna call me the N-word," and he's like, "I was gonna call you asshole. You're an asshole." You know, like just their chemistry together is so fucking great. I love Jeremy Irons in that movie. I love when Bruce Willis starts getting, or John McClane starts getting to him, and he starts stuttering, and like I love the scene where he's in the elevator with the two guys or whatever it is. It's just there's a lot of like I love that movie, the feeling of that movie, and I love the way it starts. With the hot time, summer in the city, all that. It's my favorite Die Hard movie without a doubt. Not saying that the first one's bad, but for some reason I always connected with the second one and the third one more than the first one. And the first one is a fucking legendary film. I don't think it's the best film ever, but it's definitely a legendary film. One of those like tentpole action films, but for me, it's just I like the other two a little bit better. There's like so many scenes in the second movie, like when he goes out on the runway in the second movie. I love that scene. I love the villain in that movie too. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's got the absolute best lines ever spoken in any movie of you know, you got any words for us? Yeah, two, fuck and you. It's like,
Yeah.
God, I love him. Plus, I love that actor. You know, it's just I like two quite a bit. Plus, you got that fucking greaseball airport police guy. I can't think of his name. Dennis Franz.
Yeah.
You know, oh, he's such a fucking piece of shit, man. But yeah, the first three Die Hards are legit top 10, top 20 action movies, period, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I love the first. I would say I like the fourth one too.
Fourth one's okay.
Yeah, but and I especially love With a Vengeance. But I think the only thing that I have issue with is like With a Vengeance completely falls apart in the third act. Like the whole conclusion of the story just felt really tacked on.
It kind of hits a wall.
Yeah.
Like you get this, and I agree with you 100% because like the whole movie is building up and building up. It's like The Dark Knight in a way, where the movie's building and building and building and building, and then it just hits that wall, and it feels like it's over at a point, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's more to it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I still like it. It's like the ending of the first movie is without a doubt one of the fucking coolest two things in that movie. That just the jump off the roof is fucking iconic as fuck, and then of course Hans Gruber falling.
Yep.
Both are iconic. Plus, you got to love the relationship of John McClane and Reginald Val, whatever his name is from Family Matters, because he's really good too.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Die Hard's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I don't think it's the best movie ever made by a long shot because I'm a Godfather fan. And I think The Godfather is the best piece of cinema ever. But I do agree it's one of the best action movies of all time. And I'm going to tell you right now, Seth, if you join me on Rage of Razor, we are going to rank all these action movies with the slash scores. I got a different way to do it, but we're going to figure out where Die Hard really ranks.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, it's my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Like, I grew up with this movie. I fucking love and adore it. I know it by heart. I especially love the dynamic between McClane and Hans Gruber. And I just love everything about it. It's my favorite movie. So I've always said that Citizen Kane is no Die Hard. That was my stance.
I've seen Citizen Kane, and we should ask Nate what he thinks.
We already know.
Yeah, no, but like I mean, like I've seen Citizen Kane. It's not anything that I like, but like no, I Die Hard's great. I can't wait till I show the kids. Reynolds is probably gonna fucking love it. I'll tell you right now, he's gonna love it. But over at Rage of Razor, for anybody watching, if you want to, we're gonna be doing shit like this and talking about the news because there's with geek culture, there's news all the time. Constantly, the news cycle just keeps rolling and rolling. I mean, between Marvel, DC, Star Wars, whatever, there's all kinds of shit to talk about. And then, I'd like to get two more people involved if you're going to be part of it, to talk about this stuff and rank these movies. I got a system that I've been using on the Marvel DC movies, just kind of like this, and I think it works because I have all 30 MCU films ranked. I just haven't put it on Facebook yet. And I think my ranking comes out pretty damn good for me anyway. And I think it's pretty solid. So, and also I got a ranking for animated movies because you and I share a passion for DC animated movies.
Yeah.
So, because I watched, I don't know if you've seen the Superman Man of Tomorrow yet.
Yes. Yeah.
I loved it. Fucking loved it.
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked it.
Not hype on the animation and the changing of Parasite a little bit, but overall, it's like I'm watching. I'm like, hey, James Gunn, watch this. Watch this movie.
I've been saying that for years now. Like, I wish that they would just like take the scripts for their animated stuff and just do the rest of live action.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We're talking about all kinds of stuff. That's how it goes. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed that one, and it's the launching of a new DC animated universe where I haven't seen the Green Lantern one yet, which is on HBO Max, but the Long Halloween, which was a letdown for me because I'm a huge Long Halloween fan. But anybody watching, seriously, head over to Rage of Razor and check out. I'll bring the page up real fast, Seth. I hope you don't mind me plugging this.
Why would I care?
Because you're one of those guys who cares about caring and stuff like that, and Karens.
Yeah.
It's taken my computer. I need a new computer, man. I bought a new tablet, or well, not tablet. What is it called? A Chromebook recently, and it's cool, but like I feel like I need an actual PC. You know?
Yeah.
PC low letter. What the fuck does that mean? You like Office Space?
I love it.
I do too.
I rewatched it again like 2 months ago, I think.
Dude, I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
PC load. We used to talk about that shit all the time back in the day. Like, not talk about it, but we used to like. So here's Rage of Razor. You see this picture of Superman. I believe that's Jim Lee's art. That's you. You're in the right spot. So this is my personal thing. But if you see, we've got I got like 1,000 likes. But rating these movies on a scale of 1 to 10. It's your personal preference. John Rhodes made the Harley Quinn movie a 3. Michael Lake a 6. 8.5 for Milliner. Justin Cristelli, he writes the Red Knights comic. I'm also going to promote independent comic book writers. Here you go. Spider-Man. No, what is this one called? Far From Home? No Way Home. You know, it's we're just doing this. Should there be a Kingdom Come movie? Shazam. Aquaman, just ranking all these fucking movies. And what I'm going to do is at the end of all this, I'm going to put together a ranking based on everybody's rankings. So I'll have an order. Oh, good. Well, 69 Omega's here. Get the fuck out of here with this shit. Put user in timeout. I will do that. You son of a bitch. I'm a what? I'm a stapler? Stapler? Oh, my stapler. Yeah. It is great fun, man. We ranked it number 1 on our list. If you missed the whole show, there's your spoiler alert. And subscribe and like the Facebook if you don't mind. Anyway, yeah, Rage of Razor, go like the page. There is a YouTube channel as well. There's like 67 subscribers. Sean, man, go follow the Rage of Razor so we can do more shows. Because we need to get that subscriber count up, brah. Anyway, Seth, thanks for being on as usual. I will see you on Wednesday, and tell them what you got in store for them on Supernatural Syndicate on Tuesday.
Well, we're finally going to cover the second episode from season 1. Yep. We were supposed to cover it last week, but I've been sick lately, so I just ended up canceling it. But we'll be talking about the second episode. We're going through each episode, the whole series, episode by episode. So it should be fun.
Yeah, and you got who is on the show with you?
This guy named Luke.
Hard ass Luke Hardiman.
Yep, he's okay for a Iron Lad fan. And I gotta bust his balls a little bit. And then Virginia, who's been a long time follower of the Horror Syndicate.
She has. She's been around a long time.
Yeah, I'm a big Supernatural fan.
Yeah. And then you can check them out at the Supernatural Syndicate on Facebook as well. There are tons of memes. Thanks for the great time. Thank you, Alex, man. Hit me up sometime. We'll talk comics and stuff, comic book movies and stuff. I love Iron Lad, baby. Yikes. Yeah, anyway. Anything you want to say before we end the episode on Silent Night, Deadly Night?
No.
Nothing at all.
I like this franchise. Like, this is not. So I like this franchise as a whole. it'll never be like a top favorite franchise for me. It'll never make a list, but I do really enjoy this, and I will watch all 6 of these movies probably around this time every year because I think they're fun. They're dumb fun.
Dumb fun, yeah. Yeah, I agree with that sentiment. I really, really enjoyed the newest one, surprisingly. And I mean, overall, it's a fun series, but it's the worst part about it. It's like Halloween, I can watch anytime. I'll never watch this in the middle of March. You know what I'm saying? I'll never watch these in the middle of March.
Yeah,
So
me neither.
like, yeah, like Halloween, I can watch anytime, even though it's a seasonal thing. It's just like My Bloody Valentine. I'll only watch those on Valentine's Day or around Valentine's Day. But yeah, I agree with you. I'm glad I have them all in my collection except for Silent Night, which I need to find, which it surprised me. And the last thing that I want to say before we go is thanks again for everybody that follows us and watches our shows. If you watch when we're not live, please come on while we're live. We love to interact with everybody who comes on here and comments, like Alex and Luke and Sean, and there's tons of people that not tons, there's like 5, but still there's people who come on and talk with us, and I fucking love it, man. I love interacting with the people that follow the Horror Syndicate on Facebook or on whatever, anywhere. And that's pretty much it. Merry Christmas, everyone, or Happy Holidays, whatever it is you do. No, thank you. No, thank you. Anyway, just remember, Garbage Day